If you're interested in chasing your passion and learning about how sports can influence your overall life journey, then this episode's for you.
Shop Prior USA.
Hey, Steven.
Good morning, Ari. How are you?
I am waking up. Cut.
This is good. I think
kidding.
this is for, it doesn't make a difference to anybody watching, but this is our first morning take of the show, and I'm curious to see what'll change.
Yeah, it might be our best one yet.
Or the worst.
Or
Who
the
knows?
worst. Or somewhere in the middle.
Only
But
one way to find out.
lucky for us, that's not necessarily up to us. That's a lot more pressure on our guest.
That is a lot more pressure on, I guess.
No pressure.
But okay.
How do you feel about the last episode?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's focus up.
That was
We
fun.
did. I felt like there was a palpable shift about halfway through after the food, once the food came out. And
Great
I think
icebreaker.
Yeah, it was a great icebreaker. And I think we had a great time. Maya, very fun to talk to, fun personality. Hopefully people are able to take away from that what they wish and learn some sick parries, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that today's guest is equally exciting to speak with for different reasons.
Absolutely.
I think this guest goes way back with you and even further back with me.
Way back with you. Has received a shout out on this podcast before.
Yeah. This guest has been brought up on occasion. And, we could just jump into the resume. Individually, many time medalist at national competitions through juniors. Fenced for the Temple University Owls fencing team for 3 years and some change before being medically retired. He's a one-time junior team national champion and currently the photographer, we can cut this part out, for the Houston Dynamo MLS team, the Houston WMLS team, the Houston Texans NFL team, and my sister, Camille Simmons.
Woo!
Good morning.
Hey, Camille.
Good morning.
As
Camille.
Kylie Jenner said, rise and shine.
I
You're
can't
just gonna
confirm
throw
or
a million
deny.
references at us. She was talking about Love Island before, things that Steven and I can't even comprehend.
It's a culture shock for you guys.
Yeah, who cares what Kylie Jenner said?
I care.
What? Okay, what she said, rise and shine.
I'll show you the video later.
As though she invented that phrase, rise and shine. Oh, that's what Kylie Jenner said.
Yeah.
It's what every breakfast restaurant ever said.
Yeah, in like 300 years to be creator of that phrase, Kylie Jenner.
I'm feeling
I'm
the
ahead of the
sibling
game.
dynamic already. I can't tell. It's probably going to get more hostile before the end of it.
Stephen, weigh in here.
Listen, Kylie Jenner can say whatever she wants.
I
She
know.
stopped that riot with a Pepsi. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Wrong
that was
sister.
legend. See, that shows how much Steven and I know. I don't even know what Kylie Jenner looks
Kendall?
like. If I'm being
Is
honest.
that who I'm thinking of? Is Kendall?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. This is off to a roaring start, guys.
Anyways, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
thanks
thank
for
you for
joining
coming
us.
on. We are genuinely excited as, another guest of ours who has gone on and sort of left fencing, still have a foot in the door, toe in the water, whatever you want to say, but you've gone on to pursue other things. And so we're excited to talk about, just other than fencing and maybe, how fencing has informed that journey, and just hear more about your story, takeaways from it. So I guess we'll get right into it. I'm sure we'll get off track again. I'm excited for it. But in the interest of moving along with our format, tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you meet Ari? As well as, how'd you start fencing? What was your initial journey with fencing like? Or if you want to just run through the whole story, you can. But the floor is yours. Tell us as much, whatever you want. Take it away.
Started many years ago, early morning, Los Angeles, California, St. Patrick's Day. I was brought into this beautiful world, and unfortunately, I didn't get a choice, but I was forced into Ari's life, and he was forced into mine.
Let's go.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. But grew up in Houston. Fencing wasn't really my choice. When we were younger, my mom didn't feel like driving us to 2 different locations to do sports. And at the time I was doing gymnastics as like a 5'7" fifth grader. So that wasn't really in the like plans for me. So Ari wanted to start fencing because he wanted to hang out with his best friend. And my mom just forced me to go with him. And
I thought you were a 5'7" fifth grader.
I like haven't grown since like 5th, 6th grade.
You were not a 5'7" fifth grader.
I was a very tall 5th grader.
I don't think you understand how tall that would have made you as a 5th grader.
About this height.
Chat.
I've been about this height since 6th grade, and I'm 5'8.5". I used to be 5'9". but I
Anyways,
shrunk.
back to your story.
We can do this podcast without you.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Okay. Anyways, fencing was kind of forced upon me, and I stuck with it through college, and then had to medically retire my senior year of college, and still involved with it pretty heavily because I feel like most of my friends were from the fencing world. I still support Ari. One of my closest friends, who I call my sister, is Natalie, who's the national women's epee coach.
Shout out Natalie Dostert, potential future guest on this show.
Shout out women's epee national team. We love you guys. But that's kind of life in a nutshell with fencing.
Nice. Thankfully, DJ over here pulled up the average height of a 5th grade girl for us. We have between
I was above
4'2",
average.
4'2" and 4'11". I think
We're above
you were
average.
about 5 feet, if I remember correctly. Probably 5 feet as a 5th grader.
99th percentile, 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7" is like
I
you're
grew
on
up
the way
and
to
I grew out.
you're on the way to the NBA, WNBA as a 5th grader. Anyways, yeah, no, I do remember our mom wanted me to start fencing, and when I started fencing, that meant Camille started fencing. So back when I gave my origin story, I remember sharing that I fell in love with it instantly. Camille and fencing had a different relationship off the bat. I don't think you loved it immediately, but I do think that every year you spent in the sport, you loved it more.
It was almost like a enemies to lovers origin story.
Yeah. But really, I think by the time you were finishing fencing, you were actually very sad to stop.
Yeah, I would say probably in high school is when I started to like truly fall in love with the sport, which is a really long time to be in a sport that you don't love, because I started in like 3rd grade. I think a lot of it was like my stubbornness. I just like didn't want to quit. Every time my mom said, you know, if you don't like it, you can go do something else. And the moment she would say that, I was just like, oh, because you gave me that suggestion, I'm in love with the sport. It's great. It's the best time of my life, as I'm like crying on the strip and like losing every bout. But then around high school, when I saw that it could like open the door to like college and a lot of possibilities outside of the sport, I was like, oh wow, maybe I actually do love it here. Stuck with it. And then in college, I think everything just started to click, because for those that know me as a fencer, I was a very angry kid. And I was a very angry fencer. And I think in college it finally started to just like settle and like make sense. And I do have to credit a lot of that to Natalie, just like finally having someone who like understood my mentality with the sport, just like sitting me down, and we were able to talk about it from like a mental side of the sport, not just like the athletic side of it. And I was like, oh wow, like everything makes a lot more sense. I'm gonna start fencing. And then I just kind of had injury after injury. And so when I did have to retire and like stop fencing, it was sad, because it made sense.
Do you think part of that making sense or connection comes from the fact that she was a woman coach?
Oh, 100%. And
So-
also one reason I didn't love the sport starting it, I was the only girl in our group
Wow.
for many years. So I was like a 3rd, 4th grader with a bunch of like 4th, 5th grade boys. Like going through puberty in a sport when you're like one of the only girls really sucks. But I had a great brother who wore my chest protector for me, because when you transition from like a flat chest protector to like a breasted chest protector, it's a little embarrassing when you're like the only one doing it. So Ari would wear one with me, which was
Really?
really sweet. Yeah, guys.
I have no recollection of this, but Good
Ari
job,
wore
Past Ari.
a woman's chest protector.
That's
'cause He's a
awesome.
good brother.
Ari
I had-
actually still wears a women's chest protector. Fun fact.
Just to throw Steven off. The
it
curvature
slides
actually
off.
helps it slide off. So he's been beating me so badly lately. I've had to come up with new ways to avoid getting
Have you
hit.
thought of becoming a lefty?
I think that would not help. I think Steven's left arm is a bit stronger than mine. But generally, do you want to really quickly just do you want to speak to that a little? Just it's many sports have been dubbed the boys' world and stuff like that, and fencing is a community where you've seen the woman's side of it across all three weapons grow really, really quickly over the last 20 years, with women's saber and women's epee about 30 years ago getting added to the Olympics. And nowadays women's epee World Cups at the senior level are larger than some men's World Cups in the other weapons, and it's probably a top 3 event in terms of size. And that's just a testament to how much it's grown. But growing up, not so long ago, you only had male coaches for the most part. And what was that like? And as well as getting a woman coach at a certain point in your career?
I mean, I'm also only speaking on like my personal experience. I feel like everyone has a different viewpoint on it, but for me,
We only want your experience. That's
it's
why
the only
you're
one
here.
that matters.
Yeah.
So for me though, it was definitely a lot harder. I had a lot more emotions growing up as a kid. I had a lot of just like anger and like heightened emotions, and not saying that like all male coaches are like this, but at least like growing up, the male coaches
Only
I
the
had,
Soviet ones.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you're telling me that middle-aged former Soviet Union men
Understand
weren't
the
well equipped to
emotions.
deal with a 16-year-old girl who
That's
wasn't
shocking.
having fun?
Oh yeah,
That's
They're like,
shocking
just
to me.
stop crying and go work out.
Yeah.
And like I can cry
It's
while working
simple,
out.
yeah.
It's like I just remember them saying, "I don't understand. Just, why is everyone else doing it?"
What is problem?
But I also think like just not having other girls in
go
the
to
class
sleep.
for a while didn't help, because it was literally just like me basically throwing a tantrum, all these boys, and then the coaches, and they're like, Camille, you're literally the only one crying. And I'm like, I'm literally the only girl. Yeah. And then as I got older, like I had more girls join the class or like transfer from other clubs and join in, and we were all a little emotional, but I definitely was like the most like little angry child. So when Natalie came at the end of my high school career, so around like junior, senior year, which, is like post most of puberty, like emotions are starting to kind of settle. And she's just like sat me down. She's like, why are you angry? Why are you this? Like, let's talk about it. And in the past, it was just like, you need to get over it. You need a fence, which like I understand to an extent. Like you do kind of need to like get over your emotions, but you have to learn how to get over your emotions. And coming from like a Soviet male perspective, they didn't know how to help with that. And then my mom would just get like, you just like some clash with your parents. My mom would try and help, but then she would be like too involved with it. And then she's like, don't yell at me. And I'm like, you don't yell at me. And it just became like this whole thing. Like I definitely, my favorite memory with my mom, and this kind of like just explains my emotions as a fencer, it was junior Olympic team event. And I got really mad at Andre because I didn't like what he told me while coaching. And so I
Shout
turned
out
around
Andre
and
Guevara.
Drink.
I've already apologized for this, so I'm not apologizing over 10 years later. So just going on with it. My bad. I looked at Andre and I just started yelling at him. I was like, I don't like what you're saying. I never want you to coach me again. There may have been some curse words thrown in there. And at the time, my mom was holding one of my epes that was broken that needed to go to the armory. She just looked at me and like over the barrier on the strip, just like, you can deal with this yourself, threw the epe at me. And the ref was like, Irina, I'm going to have to black card you if you don't leave right now because you can't throw blades at your kids. And my mom's like, I'm out of here. Left. She didn't watch me fence the rest of the day. The next day was individuals. She didn't watch me fence. I was fencing in the 16s to make the 8s. And I had no coaching all day, no support, because everyone's like, Camille's banned from support. All I had was my best friend's mom. Shout out to Nancy Mysek. during pools, I had one last pool bout, and if I didn't win this bout, I wouldn't have made it out of pools. And Nancy went and grabbed like all of the Alliance kids, like sat them down. She's like, "You're gonna support her. She has no one else to watch her, and you're just gonna sit here and be good friends." And I mean, I deserved the punishment, but like,
Didn't you make like top 8 of that tournament?
no, I lost for the 8. Thank you so much for.
Oh, sorry.
But you
Top
know,
16 is pretty good.
yeah, you know, that was a really hard one. I think Dasha won that tournament. It was really great
Shout
watching
out Dasha.
Dasha win.
Good job, Dasha.
But it was just like I just like had all these emotions, and like I just like didn't know how to process them at the junior Olympic level. And so I feel like if I had maybe like a female mindset going to that, I wouldn't have gotten off strip, yelled at my coach, to then lead to my mom like throwing an epee at me, to then having no one support me the next day. And I like my punishment was well deserved. Like I shouldn't have done that, but that just gives a little mindset of like here. So having Natalie come definitely changed a lot.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because our mom is a Soviet male.
I miss your mom.
Yeah.
She's great. We love her.
No, I think it speaks volumes to just like where the sport was even just like 10 years ago versus where it is now. And I'm not saying it's perfect now or anything, but like
Nowhere near it.
nowhere near it.
We're making it perfect
But
now.
it's
Right here.
definitely like
All the solutions. Yeah, but it's interesting just, you know, to think about and like put myself in the shoes of like being in those competitions 10 years ago and just like how different it is now, and how like, you know, I like to complain and like reminisce on the past, but like I think it is sort of a better place to some extent mentally, and there are more resources available for like people who are going through similar things to you, or people who are having a rough time with the mentality around competing, or with sort of this emotional regulation that you were talking about, or this like just dealing and like going through these feelings. Like I think there are more resources available now, and I think that helps a lot.
There's just more awareness. There's,
Yeah.
you know, these discussions. You crawled so that they could walk.
you're welcome.
And they're just
everybody.
discussions
You crawled
about
because
it.
of all the injuries.
You're still crawling, actually. We had to help her get into that chair. Which is part of what we'll be talking about. We did mention that Camille had to medically retire from the sport.
First of my kind.
Yeah. So I guess that gives a little bit of light into your fencing journey. But the second half of your resume that we listed was about photography, which is really where your life has taken you up until this point, both through and post fencing. Do you want to speak a little to how you got started in photography? And, you know, ultimately now, again, we mentioned Camille works for the Houston Texans as a photographer, both game day and non-game day events. Camille works for both Houston Major League Soccer teams, both the Houston Dynamo and Dash on the men's and women's, and many other gigs as well. Little League. Camille works for U.S. Fencing on occasion. So, and there are things that I'm not naming and missing without a doubt. I know you do concert photography as well, and your classic photographer, you know, engagement shoots and whatnot, that type of stuff. But really sports is the fixation, the passion, and a lot of your strongest resume pieces. So what I'd like to talk about is how you got into that, and we can sort of meander our way over to how you got to where you are today.
I would say a lot of it surprisingly has to do with being your sister. Because we would go to tournaments.
Let's go.
No, don't take all the credit. I did all the work.
True, but I helped, which is good. I didn't realize that I had helped. I didn't expect that answer.
Yeah, I'm full of surprises today.
All right, let's see it. Surprise us some more.
But we would.
Is Steven in this story?
He might be.
Okay.
We'll work it out.
All right.
But we would go to all these tournaments, and I would fence like the first day, last day, Ari would fence these other days. And so on the days that Ari was fencing, there wasn't a lot to do when you're like 13 and like in another city. Like you're not just going to go like, explore by yourself. You're just kind of stuck there. And I didn't want to do my homework. And so my dad had a camera who, I don't even know why he had it. He just like had this like nice camera, and he's like, "You want to use it?" I took it and have kept running with it since then.
It's a good
but
bit.
it gave me
Our dad is a man of toys.
He
Yeah.
he has
He's like, I just have this like DSLR camera that costs like money that like I don't fully know how to use, but I love cameras.
I think he just likes the idea of having it and knowing
go.
its capabilities. He's a stats guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, do you know what this? Our dad loves stats. Stats on whatever this camera can do. Oh, this guitar has these functions. Oh, this phone.
I mean, it was helpful.
Why
like,
don't you have an
while we were
iPhone,
fencing.
Dad? Well, I have an iPhone just to have an iPhone, but then this one actually can fold in half. And because it folds in half, and then you open it up, and it actually opens up into 4 screens, but it's the size of an iPad, but it folds up into one. Is it usable? Well, no, I actually hate the user experience, but watch it fold. He's that type of guy. So I guess he loved the camera stats.
Yeah. And I mean, our grandpa was a photographer. I guess it
Yeah.
like runs in the Simmons family because like our grandpa was a photographer. Our dad was into photography. One of my uncles really likes photography. 2 of my cousins like photography. I do photography. It is in our blood.
Steven and I now do videography.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah. What can I say? We are video editing extraordinaires.
They set up none of these cameras.
I didn't say set. I said editing.
Oh, okay.
I'm an Adobe Premiere
I
Pro.
wouldn't, I wouldn't use the word extraordinaire.
We are CapCut monkeys.
I love it. But anyways, watching you fence and just like being bored, I just started taking pictures, and then people were like, "Wow, you're taking a picture. Can you get a photo of me?" And that also helped me, I guess, like socialize, because like I don't know if you guys fully remember it. Like when we were growing up, the weapons were very like separate. Like epee was with epee, foil, saber, girls here, boys there. Like we were like in our own crew. And we didn't really expand into that. And so then with my photography, like it started obviously like following you around and then taking pictures of like you and whoever you fenced. And then like some of our club mates. And also this started in like 6th, 7th grade, like not very talented. We can just put a photo here of what it started like. And the editing was atrocious.
Wait, I have to put a photo right here.
Just
Okay. Dang, that's hard.
right
Okay,
there.
I'll figure that
No,
out.
we could just throw it in the air. But the editing was absolutely horrid. And I remember, shout out Sergey, sat me down in the nicest way possible. And he goes, "Camille, you're very much talented, but editing, bad. Fix it."
See,
and
that's
walked-
what coaching is for.
and
That's
then, but it was like, I was like, oh my God.
He's like, I can't reach this girl with fencing, so
But
I'm
maybe
gonna,
I can help
I'm
her
gonna do
with
it the
other
other.
things. I mean, I think he said the same thing about fencing. It's like, fencing, not good.
talent
Could
is
be
there.
bad.
Yeah.
Emotion, no.
Yeah.
But like I was really upset. I was like, what do you mean my editing is bad? Like my contrast saturation is all the way up. It's amazing. It looks like a graphic cartoon. And then like I woke up one day, looked at it, and was like, oh wow, that's trash. And then I just kind of started figuring out how to do it myself. I would just like Google and like YouTube stuff. And then I would just like YouTube how to use my camera. And then through more and more tournaments, by now it's like end of middle school, start of high school, I've already kind of figured it out. I've kind of like made some friendships within the epee world and was like, hey guys, I'm gonna take pictures like when I lose, typically early, or when Ari's fencing and he's in all day because he's gonna win this tournament again. I'm here all day. And then from that, I would just randomly take pictures of like foil or saber. And then they would start noticing it, like around like our same age group. And when Ari would start going to Worlds, I somehow finagled my way into like a media pass. Don't know. Well, the first Worlds when you won, I don't think I had a media pass.
I think you were taking pictures from the stands.
I was taking pictures of the stands, and I remember like going home and crying about how my photo was not nearly on the same level as like Serge Timochev and like Augusto Bizzi's photos. And then my dad was like, they were literally right next to Ari. You were up in the stands. Like, why do you expect them to be the same? And I'm like, because I just do. Like, that's where I should be. And like I did
Good
get like
perspective from Jerry.
yeah, he was like, you're not on the same level. They're adults. You're a kid. But in a nicer
I don't
way.
think he said that.
No, he's literally was like, they were there, you were there.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I still have to do those like same comparisons, like how many years later with like other stuff when I'm like I'm up in the stands for a play in the Texans and like my coworkers are on the field and I'm like, oh, my photo sucks. And
Then
I'm like,
for other ones, you're on the field.
yeah, no, I'll get into my position with the Texans later, but like that comparison just like never changes. I think the same with fencing. Like you don't stop comparing yourself.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was Ari's first Worlds. And I remember going to Uzbekistan for another Worlds. And at that point, like I was already taking a lot of fencing photos. So USFA was like, hey, like you let us use your photos sometimes. Like this is kind of like an internship at this point where you can like add it to your resume that there's an internship at play here. And we were at Worlds. I had a photo pass, which at the time, like I've never really had a photo pass. This was my first credential and I didn't really know how it worked. And I mean, on the credential, it tells you like where you can and can't go. And I remember I was sitting in the stands of the final room with Dawson, who's a saber fencer, and we see like all the photographers going onto the floor. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I kind of want to go there. And Dawson's like, you have a photo pass. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I belong down there. He goes, just follow them. And like, it was like this like bright light just turned on. He's like, just follow them. And I followed them to the floor and I got amazing photos from there, like exactly where the photographers were. And I think that's kind of when it hit me like, wait, I can actually see myself doing this full time and like in the future. And from there, it just went forward. In college, same thing. Like with all my injuries, I spent a lot of time on the bench. And luckily, I always had my camera with me. And then so taking pictures of fencing at Temple, our like SID was like, oh, you take pictures. Do you want a job? Like a part-time job with our athletic department, which at the time NIL was not nice to athletes.
Yeah,
and
NIL was just.
We had to fight and
Y'all
like
are
fill
lucky
out.
now.
Yeah, okay. I had to fight like tooth and nail with our compliance office, with the NCAA, fill out all this paperwork, prove that like I'm getting paid to take pictures for the athletic department, not because I'm an athlete, but because I'm good at what I'm doing. And like, it was just craziness. So then like in college, I started taking pictures of other sports. And then I also had like some media classes that some of our assignments were like photograph or like do like a journalism story on these sports. So like I would always just like have access. And then COVID hit 2020. Everything fell apart. And all the jobs I applied for were like, no thanks. And then I got to the Texans by luck.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about how I got there.
That's a good story.
No, absolutely. I love hearing about the origins of it, and like I think that's a great story for how you got into it. And I will say, like, some of my earliest memories of like some of these knacks, I would always just be like, who's this chick running around in the onesie taking photos?
I forgot my onesie.
Yeah.
No, one onesie. Camille had
I had
a
like
lot
3.
of onesies.
And I
Look,
remember
it was so
like,
comfortable.
yeah. I remember like Ari and I talked about the first time we fenced on our first episode. And I remember like you, about as much as I remember fencing Ari, I remember seeing you sitting in the onesie, like chatting with him between like bouts and like taking photos of the bouts. So I would always just like see you around the
Like,
venue.
this kid
Onesie
has
girl.
a
Onesie
media
girl.
team.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, like,
Camera
who's this
onesie
girl?
girl.
But then, you know, we met, became friends, and so on and so forth. But I do like that's some of my earliest like memories of some of these competitions. Just like, who's that chick running around taking the photos? And then I will also say, for a shout out Camille Simmons photos. For years, I would only use Camille Simmons originals as my Instagram profile picture.
Many people would.
Yeah.
You did a very good job. I remember some of like my like cadet years, I would really look forward to after the NAC, like that Camille Simmons photos link just dropped.
Yeah.
And I would scroll through just like, oh, I wonder if she got any pictures of me. Like,
Yeah.
I
they were
remember the
great.
stress of editing all those.
I think that experience is not unique to you.
No,
think
and
a lot of
I
fencers-
seriously doubt it is unique to me.
Yeah.
But it was a really like exciting thing for me to like wait for that, like the NAC photo album to drop and like, oh, I hope she got it this one, or like, oh, she wasn't there this one. Like, damn it. I just like that, oh, I hope I get like a present at Christmas or whatever. Like, oh, I hope I got a
didn't win,
Camille
but
photo.
I got a photo.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I won and I got even cooler photos.
Or I won and I didn't get a photo. So
No,
like,
yeah,
gotta
if you
deal
won, you
with that.
definitely got photos.
That would have sucked if you lost and got 0 photos.
But it's cool because, you know, our journeys are intertwined. You said that, you know, you would have only been there in many ways because of being my sister, but through that photography journey, that's helped capture a lot of not just Steve and I, but many top fencers across the U.S. spanning from certain years journeys. You captured a lot of moments and a lot of key moments. I remember there were some beautiful moments of loss that you've captured, or moments where someone just found out that they made a world championship team. The joy, and you got very good at capturing emotion. I think that tracks through.
You actually did get, when I officially made my first national team, I think you got a photo of that moment.
Yeah.
I remember the photo.
And it's cool stuff. So I think now for the rest of this podcast, what I really want to focus on, if everyone's okay with it, is discussing your job with the Houston Texans and MLS teams and the Houston sports scene. What's it like to work with those professional organizations?
Actually, or if I may,
please interject.
If I may interject,
you may.
Oh,
I think
Permission
as
granted.
this marks a pivotal moment in the podcast, I would like to propose a bit.
All right.
So I got something downstairs. Shout out Copper Mug Coffee. I've been drinking it the whole episode. It's lovely. This is something. Yeah, I wish. But this is something that I know Ari loves, like a dish that I know Ari loves. He hasn't had this particular one as far as I know, but I know Ari loves this
Is it
dish.
a bagel?
All right, just share.
And so I'm curious, nature versus nurture, if you'll like these as much as Ari does, but he goes crazy for this kind of shit. So I
if it's
have
sugar. I'm not allowed to eat it. I've been banned.
I-
No,
it's not
this
sugar.
is, you're okay. You
I
can
have Portuguese egg tarts,
Oh, yeah.
yummy.
and I got 4 of them. So DJ, come over here. I got a little pastry for you.
Oh my God,
Should we
DJ
cheers
feature
them?
2 weeks in a row. You gotta eat. We're gonna all cheers and eat them on
All
cameras.
right, that one came out of the tin. That's
I'll
mine.
take that one.
No, it's fine.
I always want to do some
My light is
ASMR.
peaking right here.
Yeah. We got DJ. His life is peaking. All right, cheers everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
I didn't know these are good.
Yeah.
You've had
So
these?
far away.
Sorry, Camille. In spirit.
So egg and tarty.
Ooh, these are good.
Have you never had one?
I mean, yeah, but I'm a big fan of this one.
No, these are really good.
A little.
It's really strong.
Yeah.
I
a
bet
little
they would have
sweeter.
tasted better if you gave them to us like fresh.
I'm
No,
sorry.
but it's good. DJ, are you able to taste it?
Like 20%.
All right. Got some
But it's
I got some
very-
DJ lore for you.
It's a very texture heavy.
It is. It is. I like it because it's so flaky and crunchy, almost like a crispy croissant on the outside. On the inside, it's a lot more creamy, similar to almost a melted cheese.
Oh, I like the sweetness on this one too. Usually,
Here, you can have that.
yeah. Here.
I think you like it.
This is a food podcast. This has nothing to do with fencing, sports, photography, or anything.
No, just food.
We just try different foods here.
If you'd like to
That was
send
a good
us
one,
some
Steven.
samples
Yeah.
to try, thank you.
That was awesome. Yeah, send us your suggestions. What else should we eat?
I'll fly in with some Whataburger next time.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be great. That would be an awesome bit. Okay, back to the questions.
question.
That was awesome. Thank you, Steven.
Thanks
So
for getting us off topic.
you mentioned you got lucky to work for the Houston Texans. What is it like working for the Houston Texans? What is it like being a part of that organization, being a part of you're slowly entrenching yourself in the Houston sports scene altogether? And I know the Rockets and the Astros are still check marks that have been yet to
Please
be
let me
placed
in,
into your
guys.
list.
Yeah,
but,
they're listening to this.
what's it like? That's a huge jump for you. Fencing is a very amateur sport, no matter how much we want it to be otherwise. And collegiate athletics, I know that Temple football is, at times a better team, at times a worse team. So that was probably the most professional that your experience got. But the other sports, from our own experience, happen to stay fairly amateur. So you're operating at the highest level of that amateurism. But then jumping into the professional world where growing organizations have cash to spend on the whole show, the experience, the players, the photographers, the staff, the coaches, the fans, and there are a lot of people, and you're on the field, you're there in the middle of what is for some people, the biggest moment of their lives. And what is that like for you?
I mean, imposter syndrome is definitely like majorly at play here, because like I still can't comprehend the fact that I'm there, and I know it's kind of become like a normalcy in my life because I've been with them since 2021. But even to this day, when people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" I just tell them my day job, which is like I work at Merrill Lynch, and then everyone around me is like, "She works for the Texans." I'm like, "Oh, I do that too," because I don't know, it's a crazy experience. I remember the first game day that I worked, I started as a contract photographer, and I did a lot of their like corporate and like volunteer events. So I wasn't even involved with game day at all. I would go on like Tuesdays, like all the rookies would go and do a volunteer event, like with the Boys and Girls Club at like a food bank. And that's what I would do. I just photograph these volunteer experiences, or they would have corporate events. And then my boss was like, "All right, why don't you start working game days? You're going to run cards," which means on the field you have, let's say we have like 5 to 6 photographers at the time, and some of them are using Wi-Fi to like straight upload, but sometimes the Wi-Fi in the stadium's not great. I would take their memory card from like one corner of the field, and I'd collect all the memory cards, and I would run to the photo room. I would have to upload all the memory cards, and then I had to give them all back to these photographers. And that's kind of how I got like on the field. And I remember walking into that stadium, and we grew up going, well, I didn't go to as many Texans games, but I know you went to Texans games. I found pictures of you as like a kid at some Texans events, and you drive by the stadium your entire life and you're like, wow, it's so cool. And then you're on the field during a game day, like looking up at a full stadium.
100,000 people, right?
I mean, it was insane. I don't even know how many people were in there, but it was insanity to know like they're all looking down and I'm looking up, and they're paying to be here. I'm paid to be here. That was really cool. And then being promoted from card runner to photographer was just like an honor. It was awesome. And like I really appreciate my boss and my team with the Texans having that faith in me. And a lot of what I do on game day is I do a lot of the marketing photos. So I'm not like, when you think of it like an NFL photographer, you're like just on the field, you're watching the game, you're trying not to get hit and tackled by a player, because I've seen that happen. It's crazy. It happened to me in college, and I was like, I never want that to happen again. So instead of just sitting there like with this like big lens on field, I'm kind of all over the place. We get a shot list a few days before the game, like our whole team, and tells you kind of like, okay, these are the expectations, these are the photos we need from you. This is the time during the game, this is the location. Go do it.
So you're saying it's scripted?
Yeah, everything. Oh, 100%. But let's say for a typical Sunday game, the game kicks off at 12. My first shot could be at 9:30, which means I have to get there at whatever time I need to get there in order to like prepare. And like with fencing, you kind of just show up. With like college sports, you're there. Like you show up whenever you want. And then at least like from my experience with like the college sports. And then with this, it's like, okay, first shot's at 9:30. I need to be at that location by 9:15 in case they start early, which means I have to be at the stadium at like 8:50. It takes me this long to get there. I have to park. I have to set up my equipment. So the day starts like the moment you get your shot list on like a Friday night for a Sunday game. My first shot could be in the blue lot parking, which is like across the stadium. Outside, I'm with the fans and with our band. And then from there, they say, okay, after you're with Deep Steel Thunder, which is our band, shout out, you're going to go to the field and you're going to take pictures of this influencer with Toro on the field. And then from there, we need you to go to the DJ booth and take pictures in the DJ booth, because we have an in-house DJ booth and it's awesome. The DJs are super cool. And then from there, we need you to go to 100 for a live shot of the like Chevron like ticket winner, like they do like all these like in-game activations. And so like I'm going outside, inside, up, down, across. I'm in the influencer suite because they want the photos of that. So like I'm all over the stadium. I don't just like stand on the field. And in between that, I am taking pictures of the game because it's like if I'm last game, I'm in the 600 level of a stadium taking pictures of the DJ with the fans. But I turn over and I look over my shoulder and I see that there's a kick return. I'm turning my camera. I'm getting a picture of that from the 600 level, which is in relation to that time where you won. I'm like all the way up here. All my coworkers are on the field getting it. Guess whose photo they used? It's cool. But, you know, like you have to be everywhere at the same time. And it's crazy. And I love it. And I kind of black out during the game because people will be like, did you watch that play? And I'm like, what happened? They're like, you were there. And I was like, was I?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. But it's super, super exciting. It's a huge adrenaline rush. Don't know how I got there, but I'm thankful to be there.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me
That's
ramble,
cool.
guys.
And you've been on the field as well for photos.
Yeah.
Were you next to the person that got trucked?
No.
Was it like across from you?
I don't even remember where I was.
You were blacked out.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't remember, but I remember like Cassie posting like a photo of it later and like she's here. Nico Collins is like here. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Cassie, you
scary.
good?
He's a big man.
Yeah. And it's
a lot of
fun.
muscle and pads and helmet hitting you.
Yeah. And I've definitely like been close, like when they're running, like during warm-ups or like even during a game and you just kind of like, you sidestep it real quick.
Yeah.
But when you have a zoom on your camera and you can't really, the depth perception of like how close or far is it actually happening? Or like sometimes you'll be shooting and the ball is coming towards you and you think it's going to hit you because you have like the zoom on your camera and then you flinch and then you look over and it's like across the field and you're like, that was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. And you also take, so one thing that you didn't mention as much is I know a lot of photos that the Texans have used in their website, you know, postings and in their marketing is actually your photos of the fans, which comes back to the emotion. I think you've captured some really raw photos. When I say raw, I don't mean like raw. I mean that too, but also just candid shots of fans going crazy. And you're really good at getting those emotional moments, similar to fencing with the loss, the wins. You have those same things for both the players and the fans. Because, I mean, catching moments, how many people, how many photographers work one of these games?
Like just for the Texans?
Official Texans photographers.
I think there's 7 of us.
7. And the other team probably brings at least 2.
2 to 3, yeah.
2 to 3. That's 10. Then there are all the random photographers that are like finding their way around.
Or you're like the
whatever.
newspapers.
Yeah,
you have the NFL.
So how many people are taking pictures of the one-handed catch?
Like all of them.
10 to 15. But I found that you stand out because you capture the moment right after the catch, the player's celebration, or right after they drop it, or right after a game-losing play, or the fans right after that moment. I found that your eye for those make it or break it moments and the reactions to them and the way people are maybe preparing for them, that's been your bread and butter throughout. Because, I mean, I'm not saying anyone can take those other photos, and I think you take really good photos of the moment itself. Yeah, I think you stand out by adding that other element to it. I think there's a lot of, you know, some of the most iconic photos in sports history are actually, for example, Kobe sitting after the championship with, you know, almost in tears, right? Or maybe he was in tears, with just kind of like this.
Yeah.
Those moments are your bread and butter, I think.
I mean,
how do you feel about that?
I agree with that. I think I love the action shots, but there's something about the emotion, and
Maybe it's because you were so emotional.
Well, and I was gonna say, like, I don't want to
she
fully
can sense
credit
it.
it to my experience as an athlete, but I do know that, like, while I was fencing, like, the rare times that I did win, but like the times that I did really well, I was like, wow, like I wish there was a picture of me like celebrating. And like then in college, like when they had other media, like I love the photos of me celebrating. As the photos of me actually fencing were great, but like when I see those photos, I remember that emotion. Like there is a picture that was hanging in the like Temple Athletic like main hall. They had a photo of every sport. And for a few years, the photo of fencing was a picture of me like immediately after I won Again,
Just shrieking,
Yeah.
the scariest sound that has ever been heard. Do you mind giving us a fencing yell right now?
I'm retired.
Okay.
But like, I wanted everyone to know that I finally
You're bringing
won.
it back. You're bringing it back, Ari. I'm remembering it now.
I just have a
surprising-
hilarious story. My coach that I worked with for 3 years, one of my best friends to this day, Omar Al-Ghaziri, has a hilarious story.
His first like interaction with me.
No. There's, yeah, sort of. So he was coaching our friend Nathan Lee. Do you know?
Yeah, I know Nathan,
Coaching our friend Nathan Lee at the Air Force Academy. And
Shout out Lee's Discount Liquor.
Yeah,
His,
shout out Lee's Discount Liquor.
His family's liquor store
Yeah,
in Vegas.
our
if you're a
future
Vegas,
sponsor.
yeah. Dude, I won't get on the tangent. Never mind.
So he was coaching him during a timeout and giving him advice, and they just hear the most evil, horrid sound from across the venue, just something, a banshee just destroying everyone's eardrums. And
Banshees
Omar
are
looked
great.
at him and said, "Oh my God, what is this?" And Nathan said, "Oh, that's just Camille yelling." Welcome to the NCAA. Anyways, back to you.
Thanks for
Yeah,
that
you're
one,
welcome.
Ari. No, but like it was just like the emotions of it. So now when I take pictures, I definitely think of like, as an athlete, you're gonna have those like you're guaranteed gonna get a photo of that play, but are you guaranteed that photo of like that enjoyment that you had? And like one of the my favorite photos I've ever taken outside of fencing was a picture of CJ Stroud, Tank Dell on the Texans, both of their rookie years. It was one of the first games that we won, and everyone is watching the play. And I mean, like, and that season was just like insanity because like the Texans had a hard time, and then we get in like this new talent, and we're doing really well. And there's a lot of high expectations of this, and like, and CJ and Tank were like really good friends. They still are, but like at the time, like it's the start of their careers. And everyone's taking pictures of what's happening on the field because it was like a great play. And I'm standing there, I think one of the only ones like facing them, and they're like hugging and jumping. Like basically like CJ has his arm around Tank. And I swear like at one point it looked like he was gonna like kiss his forehead. And like they were just like so excited about it. And I remember my boss being like, "Can you send me the raw image of this? Like we need it right now." Because a lot of time like we send them like edited like JPEGs, and they're like, "We need the raw, like we need this photo." And it's one of my favorite photos because especially with like what's going on with like Tank Dell and all of his injuries, like you can see that photo and you can feel that emotion. And like from my perspective, if I was one of them and I saw that, I would remember that like the joy. I can like hear the sound of the stadium as I'm like telling the story, and like the adrenaline that I felt taking it. So that's what I try and capture. And there's like a video of me somewhere in college saying like sports photography, like I like to like control the storyline, like something about candid photos and like controlling the uncontrollable. And so like I can control the storyline with like the photo I take.
That quote was way cooler the first time you said it.
Yeah, we can find it somewhere.
way less cool this time. Like control, like something. But we get what you're saying.
There's a video somewhere online of me saying
Can I
it the
make a
first
joke we
time.
cut?
Yeah.
Looking back on your journey and like where you've come and where you've been, and also thank you for sharing that. Like I was kind of trying to imagine, like picture these things, and like the way you described it, like
You were there.
it evoked some emotion in me, like I can imagine what this is like. And so I appreciate the storytelling aspect of it, and like the use of photo as a medium for a story. Like it's all very cool. But looking back on your journey and your story, if you could give yourself any advice 10 years ago, what would it be?
Don't be so emotional.
Thought this whole thing was about emotion.
No, have only positive emotions. No, I would say definitely take advantage of all the opportunities that are in front of you and like the connections, because that's like one of the biggest things that I took away from fencing outside of just like it providing me a good backbone for like a hard work ethic is the community that you get from fencing is insane. And like, I mean, exactly what I did. Like in high school, I wanted to take photos. I found out who the media team was for USFA, and I was like, "Hey, you know my brother. Can I join you guys?" And them willing to like give me that opportunity. And same thing like at Temple, like I just saw the opportunity, I took it, and now it's like I have all these connections, and it's like I can reach out to someone and be like, hey, do you have a connect here that I can try and take a picture of? I mean, like Dasha, one of her really good friends is a musician, and I was like, Dasha, is there any way?
Shout out Dasha, my lovely girlfriend.
Shout out Audrey Nuna.
And
I
now
don't know if
shout
I'm
out
allowed to like drop names, but yeah, I asked.
Shout out Audrey Nuna.
Yeah, but I reached out to Dasha and I was like, hey, I don't want to be like a bother if this is like such a big ask. Like, please don't bother like Audrey with this. But I would love to photograph her show in Houston because like she's never been to Houston before. It's like a great like stepping stone for me. And Dasha immediately was like, I got you. She gave me like the person to contact. I contacted them and I was like, hey, like Dasha gave me your info. And they're like, awesome. Yeah, join us. I went, and I've taken concert photos like for a while, just like for fun. Like I'm definitely trying to get my foot in the door for that. If anyone would like to hire me, please do. I'm great. I'm a great time.
She is great.
But I took photos before that. I've taken concert photos before that. Going into this one, I don't know what it was. Like something just like in my brain was like, there's expectations. Don't mess up. Like this was a connect. And those were some of the best photos I've ever taken of a concert. But like I saw that connection. I took it. So if I can talk to 16-year-old Camille or like anyone in the world, like if a lot of the world is like, who do you know and how can they help you? And that's just like how the world works. Take advantage of those connections. I feel like there's some shame in like asking people for help or like asking them to like connect you. But that's the way it works, and that's what kind of pushed me along. That's how I got in with soccer. I had a friend who I met at Temple through photography. We would take pictures together. She worked for the Philadelphia Union, which is their soccer team. They, like someone moved to Houston. We had a brand new media team on our soccer end, and Tommy was like, he posted somewhere like online, he's like, if anyone knows photographers in Houston, like we really need freelance in Houston. Colleen set me up with him, and that's how I got my foot in the door with that. And that was awesome. I love soccer. Like, yeah, we talk about the NFL. Soccer is so fun.
You talk a little bit about the Major League Soccer.
Dude, so, I mean, I don't know how much soccer you guys have watched, but like,
Approximately zero.
all right, it's super fun. I mean, it's definitely for me, it's something that I prefer watching in person. I don't really like sports on TV.
I'm with you on that.
Sorry,
actually.
TV sports. But the first like soccer game that I watched and like took pictures of in Houston, there was just this adrenaline that's like very different to football. Sorry, American football and European football. Because I took pictures a lot in college of our soccer team, and I had a lot of friends on that team, and I loved the sport like prior. But then like you're at an NFL game, and it's just like this insane like arena with like all these people, and like they're all like yelling and they're all drinking and having fun. And then you walk into like an MLS game and you just hear people like chanting in English and Spanish and whatever language, because our team's pretty like international. Like at one point I think we had like a German player, so you see like the German flags. Like there's a lot more like international influence on it, which I think for me is really comforting because of fencing. I was talking, don't cough. But like I really like the international influence from fencing. So like going to a sport that's on a bigger level that has that international side was awesome. And you know, we have like these fans that stand on the like stadium seats, and they have banners, and they have like
They do the wave at Dynamo games.
Oh, they do the wave, like, but there's like I have pictures of our fans, like they're standing on like the second level of our state, because we have a 2-story stadium, and they're standing on top of the seats the entire game with drums. Like the fans are the band. Like we have the NFL, like we have the Deep Steel Thunder. That's the band like that the Texans pay like people to be on. In Major League Soccer, the fans are like, we're bringing a drum kit in, and we're gonna bring like a tambourine, and we're gonna bring a trumpet, and like we're just bringing it with us, and like that's the norm. And it was amazing. And through that I was able to photograph a lot of other soccer games, because we host like the Gold Cup and the Leagues Cup. This year at the Leagues Cup, this was the first time I ever like witnessed like fans like throwing beer at the players, because it was 2 teams, one team from Mexico, one team from Minnesota. That entire stadium, I counted 3 Minnesota fans, and the rest, it was like insanity. And Minnesota was playing really well, and they got in the lead, and all of the other fans just started like chucking beers at the players. And I'm just sitting there like, Oh, okay.
With a camera in your hand.
Oh yeah, no, I
snapping
took
all
a
of it.
picture. I mean, like I have a picture, and the like forefront is the Minnesota players, and it's blurry, and it's focused on all of the like I don't remember Club Americas. I think that was the team. All of their fans just flipping off these players, and I posted on my Instagram because it's such a cool photo. But like that, the energy that you get from soccer is insane, and the energy you get from like our women's team is awesome. Like women's soccer, they don't flail around on the ground crying when someone like hits their shins. Like they are like tackling each other, like pulling each other down, like shoulder bumping, and they're getting up like bloody faces and like fighting on the field, and it's so cool. And then afterwards they're like smiling and hugging like kids in like the stands, and they're like, thank you so much for coming to our game, like, and they're like toddlers are running on the field with them, and I'm like, you just tried to like murder
this
someone
lady.
on a field, and now you're helping your like toddler like kick a ball in the field and be all like homey. It's so fun. I definitely recommend going to. There's a New York Red Bull team. I don't know. New York has a good team, and
New York will look you up.
and I'm so sorry because they did hire me to take photos for them once at a Houston game, and the New York Red Bulls. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one. It's super cool. Go get into soccer.
All right.
Thanks for the tip. This is a podcast about passion. Fencing for a Purpose is a nonprofit organization founded by 3 young fencers to share their passion for fencing with communities that would otherwise be underserved by the sport. The organization has engaged many high school fencers across the country with the intent of giving back and paying it forward, with officers all over the country. They run camps for underrepresented community members, tutor international fencers in English, raise money and donate gear in order to support grassroots clubs that need funds in order to provide a better experience for their fencers, and overall bring their passion to kids nationwide. GoFundMe is in the bio, at Fencing for a Purpose on Instagram. Check them out.
Yeah.
So our newest segment that's debuting with you and could have debuted with Ben Atkins.
Could have, yeah. Coulda,
Sorry,
shoulda,
Ben. Next episode.
I'm just better.
But with all of our guests who are tangentially related to fencing now or have a history in fencing or whatnot, this segment is called It's Just Like Fencing.
Oh God.
And
Am I gonna cry? I cried a lot during fencing.
That's funny. That's funny. But for our fencers who've moved on to do bigger and better things, we have these moments where we like to say blank is just like fencing. And, you know, is there anything that fencing has taught you that you've carried over to other aspects of your life that you feel that it's helped you with? You referenced this a little bit in your last answer, but is there anything that,
aspects of the game,
aspects of the game, or
mental,
anything that
like-
has taught you about yourself? And I know that there are probably a million things, but is there anything that you can really grab onto that you can say, without fencing, I wouldn't have this skill or this experience that helped me with this part of my life, or that I use every day, or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, definitely, like, I can see myself taking a Perry 6 on an NFL field at all times with a camera.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yes, it
That
happened.
mask knew you were lying.
I thought I was going to be the one to do that.
Sorry, Priya.
We'll wait for you to settle in real quick. Sponsored by.
Every potential sponsor. Just on my lap.
I would say, like, for me and a lot of my friends who are no longer fencers have noticed that it's not, I don't want to say it's just fencing. I think it's just like being a high level athlete, but specifically maybe the schedule of fencing that we were provided with, like, you learn a really good like work ethic, and like, at least I would hope, like, I can't really speak for you guys, but like for me, I have a pretty good work ethic of like, I thrive off of doing a lot of things, and I'm able to balance a lot of things. Like, I work a 9 to 5 40-hour corporate job, and then immediately, like, this past week I worked from 9 to 5 or like 8 to 4, And then immediately after that, I go to a photo shoot where I work 2 hours to come home to edit the photos because they need a 24-hour turnaround. But I don't have the 24 hours because I'm in the office the next day. So I have to give them the photos basically the same day. And same thing with like the game days for the Texans. Like they need a pretty quick turnaround. And a lot of times, like Sunday, I come home. I'm in the office Monday. So I come home, I edit, I go into the office this next day. And I see some of my friends that like aren't in fencing or like they didn't have this like high level like athlete experience, and they just like struggle with the concept of being able to balance all of this like doing, and I'm not like trying to like
No, it's a flex.
I'm not trying to poop on them.
No, it's not. It's not.
But like
It's just
it is something that I
get
is
on
like
her level.
I mean, yeah, like not everyone can be as cool as me. It's fine. But I remember in college I had some professors tell me they're like, and like maybe like you guys were told the same thing, like if you were a student athlete, put it on your resume. People like to hire athletes because you know how to work. You know how to, you know, you have to wake up early. You're going to go to sleep late. Like NACs, when I was growing up, like I would literally fence. Then I would take pictures. I would edit the photos to give to like people like Steven who would cry if they didn't get a photo and it was like the end of his life.
Big crocodile tears, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see them kind of building right now. Zoom in.
It's been a long time since I got a photo.
We can take a selfie. But like I would edit those photos and I'd wake up the next day because y'all's event would start at 8 a.m. And I'm like, I have to be there at 8 a.m. to start taking pictures because everyone needs photos, at the same time having to do homework and then having to focus on myself, and as well as like having a social life and like hanging out with people. You learn how to just like be back to back to back. And then I had other friends who were like, yeah, in like high school, like I would just like hang out and then I would go to school and I would like do homework, and then now they like work and they just like work and socialize and they don't balance like 3 jobs, and they're like, how do you do it? I'm like, I've always done it. Fencing really taught you how to balance. And like I think another skill that fencing has taught me is how you can travel to Europe with only 2 days and have the best experience of your life.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to Budapest a few years ago for a fencing tournament with you because he was like, why don't you come with me and just take pictures and like take a few days off
It was
from
a
work.
birthday gift.
Yeah, it was a birthday gift. It was right around my birthday. It was awesome. Thanks, Ari. But everyone at work was like, wait, where are you going? I was like, oh, Budapest. And they're like, you're going to Europe for 2.5 days. How are you going to do anything there?
Actually,
like,
it's ideal.
I was like, this is perfect. I land. The next day, Ari fences. I take pictures. The moment Ari is done fencing, we're going to go.
That day was really, really early.
Yeah, like, and I was up like with him. Like I go to the venue maybe like 5 minutes.
No, I meant I finished early.
We didn't have to talk about that part. Anyways,
Is that a common
but
occurrence
like,
for you?
but you know, it's like the moment that he's done fencing, whatever time you have to see the city, like you're gonna go see the city, and then the next day, like whatever time you have, you see, and then you leave. That's like how we grew up seeing Europe. Like we would fence, and then immediately after you're done fencing, you're like, okay, what's open? We're gonna get this culture experience right now. And I learned how to like
The bar.
yeah, I learned how to enjoy Europe with 2 days. It was great. So those are the 2 life lessons, like how
No,
to
those
work
are-
really hard and how to travel.
Those are wonderful. And, you know, it's funny, like, you started describing that feeling of like back to back to back. And I was like, oh, shit, like that. It's a good feeling. It's addictive.
is.
Like,
Dude, it's our life.
I know, but
That's what
like,
we're doing right
I
now.
no, like for me specifically, like this past month with the podcast stuff and like work being a little busier in the month of September for me, like I really felt that again.
And
I
we're
was like,
training for the first national tournament.
yeah,
of the
well,
season.
that's always
I
that's
mean,
always
living
gonna be
on
there.
2 hours of sleep for a whole week is amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone should
Love
try
it.
it. So great.
Our dad is not a sleep doctor.
But I realized like I missed that feeling of just like, oh, like I all day today I was doing something. Like there was not a moment of like downtime, or like, you know, maybe there was like 10 minutes or whatever, but like I couldn't have fit more into today, and then I get to wake up tomorrow and do it again. Like it's a good feeling. It's refreshing in a way, like, but I know the feeling you're describing. I like it too, and I'm glad that like is something that you're able to replicate and like maintain. And that was a really good answer. I like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then
The Europe one's
Europe
fun.
in 2 days is funny. I like.
I mean,
you know,
like,
it's a
it's
good.
It's true.
accurate.
Most people,
I say
most
that.
people can't fathom. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to Europe. I need a week and a half.
Yeah.
No, okay, but to be fair,
Dude,
like
I'm going to miss home.
I'm going to London in a few days, and I'm going for a week, and I'm
What are you
planning.
even going to do?
Yeah.
Well, so okay,
Yeah,
I'm
jet
going.
lagged.
I'm going with shout out Ali Mysek, best friend. also ex fencer, and we're so used to like shoving like all of this stuff into like a 3-day trip, and we're literally after like we're like okay, we land Monday, we're gonna immediately go do this, and then Tuesday we're doing this, Wednesday this, and then we got to Thursday and we're like
Hit the pub.
we're like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've
What do we
managed to like
do? Yeah.
schedule everything in. Like, what are we doing now? And we're like, oh wait, we can actually like relax. We have the time. We can take like this learned experience of shove everything into 3 days and like expand it. And it's okay. So I'm really excited to see what it's like to travel with time.
Yeah, good
It's
luck.
weird.
Good luck.
I hope
Let me
you're
know how it
okay.
goes.
I don't know. I'm gonna come back and be like, I need 3 days. No, but it was fun. It's fun.
That's awesome. Well, I suppose we should wrap it up, bring it into our final segment. So this is our final segment. We call it One Light Answers, and we're just going to ask you rapid fire,
Okay, let
a
me
couple
get
fun
ready.
questions. Just no need to overthink it. Just rip them as they come into your head,
I'm stressed.
and we're excited to hear your answers. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I was actually editing our most recent clip of people's answers to this first question. And I really like the way that it's been introduced. Steven, you're always like, just take it away, Ari. Do you want to take it away or should I take it away? And the way it's been brought up, and I got to see it over the course of, I think, 7 or 8 episodes. And it's pretty funny. I was trying to see how this one would be different. It was a little different.
It was a little different.
It's okay. No, every
little
single one
calmer.
is a tiny bit different, but for the most part, you've been introducing this segment, and it's fun. I like it, and then you pass it to me or give the option, and it's fun. Sorry to make us self-aware about.
No,
that,
yeah, I
but
was like, huh.
it was
Like, I
fun to
didn't think
listen
about
to.
that.
It was
This
fun to
podcast
listen
is not
to.
about you. It's about me. Continue.
All right. Good point. Are you ready?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Who are your 2 favorite fencers?
Myself.
All right, and
No. Ari Simmons.
oh, wow,
Good
okay.
answer.
Not bad.
What's the favorite city you've ever been to for fencing?
Grenoble,
Which country?
France.
Just for some people. What was in your equipment bag that probably shouldn't have been?
Pickle juice, but that should be in there.
Yeah, not bad.
How old
I think
is
I had
pickle
it for
juice?
you in my bag.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm a big cramper.
Who's the most challenging bout you've ever fenced?
Miriam Grady. I accidentally
Shout out
ran
Miriam.
her over. and
Shout
got
out
carded
MG.
for that.
I do remember Miriam having, 3. I thought
wait,
you were gonna
no,
say
can I-
her or Sophia.
I was gonna
Komar.
say, wait, Sophia. Like some of my biggest tantrums were about Sophia, and she knew it.
Congrats,
Good
Sophia.
job, Sophia.
Shout
it's
out
really
Sophia.
funny.
Shout out Sophia. That's
Hey.
funny.
Anyways, what's the favorite fencing photo that you've ever taken?
Probably most recently, Kat Holmes finding out she made her most recent Olympic team.
That's cool. That's a cool one.
That's awesome. It's your dream photography event. You're in the middle of the event and nature calls. Your stomach's yelling at you. In
One,
Ari's
2.
words, do you do it right there or do you miss part of the event?
Is it a 1 or a 2?
I put 1.
He did put 1.
I put 1. Wait, does that change your answer? Okay. For 1, what is your answer?
You just hold it.
No, this is like you can't
But you
hold
have
it.
to
This is
either,
like you
like,
can't
pee your
hold it
pants,
situation.
Pee your pants.
Yeah.
I missed the event and make up for it for better photos later.
I'm guessing for number 2, it's the same answer.
Nah, I just went in the middle of the floor. Yeah, it's the same answer.
Okay. Would you rather photograph the Olympic finals in your favorite event or the Super Bowl?
Olympic finals.
Hey.
Good answer.
Okay.
Unless I can go to Super Bowl. Shout out Ray. Go Bills.
Would you rather, would you rather photograph a full day of a knack handcuffed to Ari and me or photograph a Texans event, but all your previous injuries materialize for that day?
I mean, I'm already living with all of them.
No,
so
but I mean like peak.
I would be handcuffed to you. Wait, but is it like a chain of handcuffs?
No,
or
no,
each
1
hand?
and 1. You gotta navigate and control both of us at once.
I would be handcuffed. You guys are entertaining enough.
Okay.
And you listen when I say to shut up.
And what's your favorite piece of pre equipment?
Probably the Ari Simmons banner.
That's pretty good.
That was a good one. I love that.
I unfortunately did not fence when Prier was a thing, so I never actually got to test out their equipment.
Fun fact, she's wrong. Prier is the oldest fencing brand in
They
fencing
were not
from
popular.
1788. 1788, founded in France, but they didn't make their jump as a Prier USA company and shop into the US until 2024. So
Exactly.
that's what you meant.
That's 100% what I said. But is this a Prier mask?
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Oh, okay.
When did you last wash it?
So you can smell and find
Guys,
out.
I haven't worn a fencing mask since I think
Do you remember how to put it
2019.
on?
Oh, no, it smells so bad.
No, it doesn't.
It smells really bad.
Nice.
No.
The other one smells better. This one's the New York Athletic Club one. Well, thanks, Camille.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It smells nasty.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
joining
much for
us.
having me.
I think this was really fun to just discuss your life as it pertains to your journey through sports.
Was this the first podcast where someone has talked more than Ari?
Yes.
All right, Steven,
welcome.
you got to close this out.
Good God.
Are you going to replace him now?
No, I've
You
just
have the
been,
better Simmons.
I've been got. This is awesome.
This is wonderful. We should do another 10 minutes and just us two.
I mean,
Well,
I agree.
We're going to get at least 10 more minutes.
Just put the mask on and stop talking.
Camille, thank you so much, both for this and for the whole episode. It was very interesting to hear, your stories, your path. That's the word, or something like that. It doesn't matter. But it's also been interesting to, catch up with you a bit and hear more about your life and how your career is evolving. And thank you for telling it so eloquently and making us feel like we were there. Best of luck with everything. You're always welcome on the podcast, especially if you're going to tell Ari to shut up. Like,
I love it.
you could be a regular reoccurring guest in my book.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I think it was awesome. And I think some stuff that's important, just like fencers, don't judge your journey early. Invest what you can in it, get what you can out of it. And you never know where your life's going to take you. You could end up being a lifelong fencer like Steven and I, or the journey that you take through the sport could take you to new heights that you never knew you'd be at outside of the sport. And that's where Camille comes in. So thank you. It's an honor to be your brother and to bring you onto our podcast. So I'm really excited to have episode 2 where you got fired from the Texans for saying "Go Bills" on our podcast.
I said go Ray.
No, you said "Go Bills." Anyways, this was awesome, and thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Make sure to give at Camille Simmons Photography a follow and some likes on Instagram, and keep up with her journey.
Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe for more episodes just like this one. And don't forget to shop Prier USA.